Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is October 6th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland has greenlit a Russian offensive for the date of October 7th of 2025, specifically to spawn a second global biological pandemic and or trigger World War III. This impending attack on the date of October 7th of 2025 is also designed to trigger the mutually assured destruction scenario featuring all-out nuclear war between the Soviet Union and NATO nations. So this impending attack on the date of October 7th, of course, marks the 2-year anniversary since the Israeli Mossad-based attack targeting Israel back on October 7th of 2023, which is coincidentally Putin's 73rd birthday. The number 73 or 37 is 3 sevens, which is found in the tetragram of Yahweh 777, which is the highest god in Judaism, and therefore the CIA, which is located in Switzerland, the first Jewish state, is going to use their proxy in Russia to basically trigger World War III on this particular date. Coincidentally, the date of October 7th of 2025 marks exactly 26,663 days since Vladimir Putin was born in Russia back on October 7th of 1952. Of course, this features the 666 numerology, which we all know is the so-called mark of the beast, because in the aftermath of this attack, which triggers World War III, Putin will predictably be touted by the Zionist establishment as the Antichrist or the beast, if you will. This number also features the 26 numerology, which equates the letter Z, which is an acronym for Zionism, which is the political motivation behind this impending attack, which will target European Union and or NATO nations around the world. The date of October 7th also marks exactly 4,901 days since Putin was sworn into office as the president of Russia back on May 7th of 2012. This 4901, this bears the 49219 numerology, which is found in the foundation of the Swiss Constitution back on April 19th of 1878, and that is not a mistake. Because this is Switzerland basically greenlighting World War III for the date of October 7th, 2025, which is Putin's 73rd birthday. So exactly what type of attack is planned is obviously not known, but it's predictably going to be CBRN in nature. That's chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear in nature. This will likely start with a storming attack by Israeli special forces, otherwise known as Mossad, targeting multiple capital buildings and or capital cities in Europe, including but not limited to Amsterdam, Netherlands, Belgrade, Serbia, Berlin, Germany, Bratislava, Slovakia, Brussels, Belgium, Bucharest, Romania, Budapest, Hungary, Chisinau, Moldova, Copenhagen, Denmark, Dublin, Ireland, Kiev, Ukraine, Helsinki, Finland, Istanbul, Turkey, London, England, Oslo, Norway, Paris, France, Prague, Czech Republic, Riga, Latvia, Rome, Italy, Sofia, Bulgaria, Stockholm, Sweden, Tallinn, Estonia, Tbilisi, Georgia, Vienna, Austria, Vilnius, Lithuania, and or Warsaw, Poland. That being said, the Zapad 2025, which featured 150,000 Russian forces massing in Belarus, just concluded back on September 17th of 2025, and consequently it's highly likely that the CIA will stage a full-scale Russian attack or invasion of one or more EU or NATO nations on the date of October 7th of 2025, including but not limited to Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada in North America, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Montenegro, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Sweden, the United Kingdom, and or the United States. So this impending attack on October 7th has been a long time coming. In leading up to this impending attack on Putin's birthday, which, as I mentioned, bears the Yahweh numerology. there have been a number of incursions into European and NATO airspace. This started with a Russian drone incursion into Poland back on, I believe, September 19th. And then it was quickly followed by a drone incursion into Denmark. And there's now been alleged Russian drone sightings in Norway and Germany. There was also a MiG incursion, allegedly by Russia, that was into Estonia. And then there's been a number of events which have basically been designed to sell the notion that Russia is ready to basically start war with Europe. In a speech a few days ago, Putin outlined that he has no intention of striking Europe and that he wants to basically, he said that the number one goal of Russia, the Russian Federation, is to develop positive relations with the United States. So obviously this is going to be a major false flag. This is most likely going to be executed by the Israeli Mossad, the Israeli Navy, the Israeli IDF, and or the Ukraine forces in the region, most likely the Azov Battalion. So like I said, a siege of a city or one or more capital cities or capital buildings in Europe is expected, followed by a full-scale invasion, and this could be Ukrainian troops posing as Russian troops because they're all speaking Russian, especially to Europeans who can't tell the difference between the dialect of Ukrainians versus Russians. So a major offensive by Russia designed to trigger World War III is expected on the date of October 7th, Putin's birthday, which is also the 2-year anniversary of the October 7th attack. Considering it is the October 7th anniversary, it's also highly likely that the CIA would stage a Russian offensive into Israel. I've been writing about this for years. This is coincidentally found in Revelations chapter 16, verse 16, which talks about the Battle of Armageddon, Tel Amico or whatever, in Israel, and so this would obviously be designed to trigger World War III. Consequently, a false flag Russian attack, possibly via a gas attack, because the Jews were gassed at Auschwitz, right? So a gas attack, some sort of strategic bombing attack, allegedly committed by the Russian Air Force, some sort of storming attack, or some sort of incursion into Israel by Russia is expected on the date of October 7th, because these two events, Putin's birthday, as well as being the 2-year anniversary of the October 7th attacks, it's not a mistake that they chose this date for the original attack back in 2023, and because they planned on eventually linking these two attacks together. And then after this impending attack, if it occurs in Israel, predictably they'll state that Russia has been funding Hamas and ISIS and Hezbollah in the region, and that they have been responsible for the string of terror attacks in the region. So this plan for a Russian-Israel conflict designed to draw the United Kingdom and the United States and NATO and the European Union into a global conflict has been planned at least since 1599, when the Geneva Bible, the first ever printed version of the Bible, was published back in 1599. So this has been a plan at least 425 years, 26 years in the making. So this is obviously been planned for years, and it appears that it's going to climax on the day of October 7th of 2025, most likely during the live broadcast of the Monday Night Football game in the United States between the Kansas City Chiefs at the Jacksonville Jaguars game, which would be about 5 o'clock in the morning in Israel at the end of the game. So this would be a perfect time with hundreds of millions of people watching the game, and especially most Americans watching the game, to stage a unprovoked attack by Russia on Israel. That being said, as I mentioned, an attack on EU nations is also expected. Lastly, I did just publish a report for a Russian nuclear ICBM strike targeting Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, the Baltic states, and there has been a number of movements in regards to German troops. 5,000 troops from Germany have just been moved in the last few months from Germany to Lithuania, which was specifically designed to provide a timely motive for a Russian revenge attack. And of course, these missile strikes are going to target NATO bases in the Baltic states, which, as I've explained in these videos, there are large amounts of explosives that are underneath these military bases. So when a missile strikes down, it appears as a nuclear explosion. So that is also to be expected during the live broadcast of this game, is possibly a triple nuclear attack targeting Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. So obviously, if any of the aforementioned events come to fruition in reality, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Lastly, I should say that in the aftermath of this video highlighting a Russian offensive on this particular date of October 7th, it's virtually certain that the CIA is going to stage Russian-backed Islamic terror attacks targeting Europe. So this would be Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Taliban, etc. I have also made a video in respect to Islamic attacks or right-wing attacks targeting Hebrew, Israeli, and Jewish-related entities on the 2-year anniversary of the October 7th attacks. But given that the CIA has repeatedly tried to stage Russian Islamic terror attacks in Europe designed to trigger World War III, a mass attack is expected. If you recall back on December, I believe it was December 19th of 2020, or December 19th of 2019, maybe it was even earlier, the CIA staged a ISIS-backed Polish truck attack targeting the Christmas market in Berlin, Germany, and this was specifically designed to foreshadow Russian-backed VBID, vehicle-borne improvised explosive device-based CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear attacks targeting Europe at a later date. This is what the Telegraph of the UK, the newspaper, published the Blackjack, which was multiple truck bombings targeting the United States and North America, resulting in nuclear explosions. In this particular case, it would most likely be a dirty bomb attack targeting multiple locations in Eastern Europe or Europe, specifically to trigger World War III. So anyways, some sort of Russian-backed Islamic terror attacks are also expected on the date of October 7th of 2025. Peace.